Good morning. It is July 13th. I am out on hopefully what is a longer training run. I'm supposed to go 4 miles, but I do count my walking as part of my 4 miles. So let's see. Finished objects. I finished 2 projects yesterday. So I'm like, summer gabs. Summer gabs is a machine. I've also cut down immensely on my sewing for the Etsy shop because I realized it was feeling a lot like a job, and it's supposed to be my fun hobby to use up my fabric. And yeah, so I've been sewing maybe 45 minutes every other day, and I'm much happier for it. And the shop has plenty of listings in it. It's got 33 listings in it. Dad did a bunch of sewing for me, so when I see him, not this weekend but next weekend, he'll hopefully bring me all the stuff. I just have to run drawstrings through and photograph it. So you can expect a major shop update sometime after the 22nd. I'm not really good at like collection drops and stuff like that. I'm kind of just posting as I go because that's what seems to work for me best right now. So I'm finishing a bunch of projects, which is great. Busting through the yarn stash. I'm at 401 skeins today in stash. I know I've got at least 10 probably in San Leandro that are coming soon, and then another 13 coming from Fangirl Fibers, which is my League of Their Own countdown calendar. So I want to try and get down to maybe like 375 before all that stuff shows up, because my goal is to really stay under 400 to start the school year under 400, which would be awesome. So that's the goal. That's where I am in terms of stash, but we'll see how it goes. Just keep on chugging with it. It's like I said yesterday, it's crazy how like I'm being very conscious about my stash, yet somehow it's still growing immensely. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I don't know what happened. So I don't have any plans to acquire yarn in the month of July or in the month of August. We have no birthdays coming up anytime soon. So I should be cool. And so August is the start of school for me. So I have no big trips. So I'm hoping July and August means I can get a handle on my yarn. Okay, let's talk about finished objects. I finished my Super Bloom, which was I modified the pattern. The original pattern calls for purling. It's for stockinette stitch on the shawl. But I did garter because I'm not gonna purl. That's not a thing I'm gonna do with my life. Let's see. I finished it. It's blocking. As I was working through it, I noticed that my gauge is radically different between when I started it and when I finished it. I don't know if it was just like I'm more comfortable with the pattern, or I'm like stressed versus not stressed. But I was getting maybe like 7 stitches an inch at the start of the pattern, and I'm getting like 5 at the end of the pattern. So I had to add more decreases in so that the shape of the shawl stood the same. So instead of decreasing by 1 stitch every other row, I decreased by 2 to try and like keep the shape but also save the yarn. So I finished that. It does have what Haley and I call bald spots. It has like mirroring bald spots, which I think is just honestly the nature of assigned pooling and how the decreases and increases shaped up. Hopefully it won't be noticeable when you wear it, but laid out it looks silly. It looks pretty silly. But I doubt it'll matter when it's on your body because it'll be all crumpled up. I also finished my first Christmas in July pair of socks. They are red and green. I used, ouch, got caught on a weed. That's what that happened. The green Chaley thinks was a breaking yarn colorway. She gave me the leftovers from. I really liked the green, and then the red was also a Christmas colorway that I got from Forbidden Fiber Company. They're in DK. Okay, this tree is hanging so low There's like no way. Like, I'm very hunchy and I'm only 5'1". Like, look how low that tree hangs, and I had to like substantially duck, and I'm only 5'1". I can't imagine what my husband, who's 6'3", would have to do. He would look ridiculous. The red and white colorway has sparkles in it, which is awesome, except it just flashed and pooled in a way that I didn't love. So like one side was solid red and the other side was more candy cane, but I wanted it to be more of an all over pattern. It's a DK weight. Maybe it just wasn't meant to be worked up in socks and needed a longer run. Maybe it would have been better as a hat, but I didn't want to make a red hat. So there's that. But it was fine because I broke it up into with green stripes, so it didn't look flashy insane. I originally wanted to use them for Chaley's Let Me See You Get Lotus sock pattern, but you couldn't see it. Even though red and green are complementary colors. They are opposite. Like, they're opposites. They're what you pair together. Like purple and yellow and blue and orange, right? Like basic color theory. So I don't know what happened. Because I was like, I need high contrast, and I thought red and green were going to work out as high contrast. It was probably because there was white in it as well, kind of blurred the image. So I just ended up striping them. The green I put into DK weight / worsted weight magic knot ball that I am making for what's it called, for Scrappy Chicken. And then and then the red, it was split into 2 balls because it was originally, I used it in a design. Like, I used it completely in a design, and then I frogged the entire design because, again, it was blurring the design. It was an all over lace pattern inspired by poinsettia, and it was just, I don't know, but you couldn't see it at all. You like couldn't see the design in it. So that didn't work. So I gave half the ball to Chaley, half of my remnants, at least half my scraps, to Chaley for she's making a DK magic knot ball, which I think is for a blanket, but I'm not quite sure. And then I put the other half into my magic knot ball, which I'm going to do for making a chicken, which I actually want to start looking and seeing if I've got that going on right now, which would be, now that I thought about it, I'm like, oh, I do have the kawaii. I could also put the kawaii in it, but I think I want to fade it a little bit because right now what's in it is that bright red, and I don't want to go straight to that pink color. So that's where I am. That's what I'm doing with that. Whips, I am working on my hexie blanket, which I seem to still keep messing up the counts for, but it's fine. So I have that. I have my Granny Advent blanket, which I'm not that excited about working on because it's super tiny and fiddly, and I don't think it's going to get better. I don't think it's going to be less tiny and fiddly as I go. But the good part is I only put in 1 square a day, so it takes me like 6 minutes. So it's not that bad. It is a steadily growing project. And then, is that all I have on my needles? Oh, and then I started another chicken. I started Sylvia, the single ply chicken. She has the remnants of This'll Be Interesting in it. That's like her bottom tail feathers. Then I quickly ran out of that. I'm holding it double as well. So I have the bottom remnants of This'll Be Interesting. Then I have the remnants of Truxton Circle by Neighborhood Fiber Co., which I used the main color in my Stephen West Twist and Turn shawl from 2022, must have been. And then I added in a gold, which I've had in stash for like forever. And the gold was used, I can't remember. I have no recollection of what I used the gold for, but it's not full skein. Oh, I remember. The gold was used in my rose-covered cage test knit that I made for Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarn. Okay, that person just decided that stop sign did not exist and I did not exist as a pedestrian. So that was exciting. So, sorry, lost track with my almost encounter with that car. They were using my rose-colored cage mitts, which I think I'm going to give away because I never wear them. And so I think they're going to get donated to Knit the Rainbow. I'm going to go through my stuff and see what I actually use because I'd rather it be used. They're also really small. They're like child size. Like I put them on and they're tight on me. So I think they're actually meant like they're child size mitts. Yeah. Today we have swim lessons and I did it. I achieved what I've been working towards for like 6 months. My daughters have swim lessons at the same time. It took so long. It was so hard. They're different levels. Lottie's 4.5, Lenny's 2.5, but I got it. Lottie just leveled up in her swim. She is a sea turtle now. I know that means nothing to you, but she's a sea turtle. She's the littlest sea turtle. Because she's 4.5. The average age of kids in her group is 6 and 7. So she's a little bit on the young side, but I think it's good for her to learn from kids who are in a different developmental age than her. And then Eleanor is still doing parent-taught swim, so she's a polywog, and that means Daniel will have to do it, but we both have it at 12:30. We will have our extra nutritious lunch of Taco Bell, like we do after swim, and then we are going back to swim to do open swim as a family, which our swim school lets us do in the afternoons on Saturday and Sunday, where you can kind of just play around in the pool, which honestly I think my girls are getting better at swimming simply because they're just doing it more. Like it's just exposure and experience at this point. So yeah, that's all we have for today. See you later. Okay, 4.15 miles and I'm walking up my hill. 3 things that I thought of on my run. 1, I read this running tip on Facebook group and I thought it would share because I just started doing it. It's wave to the other people you see passing you on the road, because in the event something terrible happens to you, they're more likely to remember seeing you if you greeted them, which is totally true because I am remembering more people that I greeted on a run than I hadn't. So if you run alone, I mean, take necessary safety precautions as well. For example, my husband has my GPS and knows what time I'm supposed to be home, as well as how far I intend to run and my route. But yeah, I tried it out and I'm realizing, at least for myself, I'm remembering the people I saw. Ooh, sprinklers, which actually kind of feels nice. Second, this is a running rant. Oh my gosh. If you're on an electric bicycle, those things are quiet. Do other runners a courtesy and say that you're coming up behind them, because that was absolutely terrifying. Two riders just popped up from behind me because they weren't pedaling, so I couldn't hear their gears clicking, and it wasn't a downhill. And usually on a downhill you pick up speed so you can hear them, but because they were using their electric bike and the motor and the wind, couldn't hear them until they were 2 feet behind me. Absolutely terrifying. So there's a gentleman on a scooter and he yelled at me, "On your left," and it was perfect. Yeah. Last running hack I've learned is I watch YouTube when I run. Don't skip the ads. Use the ads as the time to either 1, interval train, or 2, walk. So this time I used my ads when the ads popped up in the YouTube video to walk, because they're usually 15 seconds to 1.5 minutes. All mine were about 15 seconds. So for me today, I got a little break and I got to support a YouTube content creator, right? Because if you watch the ads, they get more ad revenue, right? So I was supporting my favorite content creators and getting a break. And now if you're an intense runner, or at least more dedicated than I am right now, you can also use the ads interval train, right? speed up for the 15 seconds to a minute and a half. The ad's gonna pop up. I also liked it because I didn't know when it was coming. So it gave me a little bit more excitement in the run. And I didn't dread the ads. I wasn't annoyed with them. I was looking forward to them. So those are my wise musings on running today. Okay, gotta go home and stretch. Okay, sat down to do my 45 minutes of sewing today. And today's print is this super cute, like red poppy vibe. I've cut the strips.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, lots. And the black polka dot inside. I got this on remnants, so I am gonna do that. Okay, I'm doing this exciting task of cleaning my bathroom cabinet because I am going to a Mary Kay party next weekend, and I want to like look at and see where the gaps are in my like skincare stuff. So I'm really excited. I will put the Mary Kay link for my Mary Kay lady below. Her name is Jen Spateri. She's another teacher. I also do sell Avon, but I get my bug spray and stuff through Avon and things like that. And Mary Kay has stuff that Avon doesn't carry, and vice versa. So, yes, I'm gonna look, see how it goes. But it's a dreaded task that I'm not really excited for. But I think I need to group my stuff together because, like, does anybody else's family hoard sunscreen like it's the end of the world? We have like 15 tons of sunscreen. So I'm going to try and put it all together so we can assess our sunscreen and see how it goes.